Hello, welcome to another episode of Devil's Eve with Ghoulish Cop. Because, like all my fellow haunters, I have nothing better to do with my time at this part of the season than start Blucky, corpsing another Blucky. This is one of my Walgreens Bluckies. What are we calling them these days? Wookies? Right. So I was able to score 4 of them. And this guy just suddenly decided to jump down. And I had some time to kill this morning, so I figured I would start corpsing him. And so this is how he's coming out so far. I haven't done much really, just started on the face and the rib cage. And my method of corpsing, I use just pancake batter, flour and water, and cotton balls, which I unroll and then spread onto the form. I've noticed using on the plastic here, it's actually a little bit more difficult than corpsing on paper mache, but it's starting to get the hang of it here. And what I'll do is I'll end up going over and putting another layer of cotton balls on top of it and provide just a little bit more depth on it. But this is where I'm going right now. So I also use my heat gun. My heat gun here to help dry it off real quick, and allows me to continue moving on and making other layers or moving on to other things. So I figured I would just quickly show you how I do corpsing. I know there's a million methods out there, and some are probably better than others, but this is the way I do it. And I'll try not to get in the way too much, but what I like to do is paint on a little bit of the pancake batter, provide a sticky surface for it. I'm going over the prior portions that are already dried isn't a problem. And then take my cotton balls. I actually pull them apart and use smaller sections. I found it's just easier for me to control what it is I'm doing here. And then I stretch it out and spread it out a little bit before I put it on, because then you get better separation with the cotton, giving it a more fleshy, torn fleshy look, which is what I'm going for here. So stick it on there, and then gently spread it out and stick it on. I'm still not quite sure the best way yet with move from here. What I'd like to do is take a bigger paintbrush and just start wetting down the cotton, the dry cotton, because if you try to start moving it around now, the cotton actually sticks to the brush and lifts up, and becomes a real mess. I also try to do it, put it on vertically as opposed to horizontally, and because, and I just think muscle and skin tends to run up and down as opposed to side to side. So when I have something that looks like that, and then come back in with a smaller brush, and I start manipulating it a little bit, and sometimes I use the end of the brush to pick out a spot, and then slightly start pulling. As I said, I start pulling it away sometimes. Definitely not a science here yet. pulled that one right off. Sometimes too much is too much. I think once I get where I'm looking to go here, I imagine an anatomy book or something like that would help you determine where, like, musculature is in the body. I just try to go from memory from my days in biology and art classes. And we had a study of the body. It was one of the reasons, was it Michelangelo, Da Vinci? I think it was Michelangelo. He used to take bodies and dissect them so that he had knowledge of where the different parts of the body went and how they went. So you get something like that, and then what I try to do is go back over then with this, and then pull it all apart what I just did. But also when you use the heat gun to dry the cotton, it then sometimes opens up additional holes. And it actually makes it look pretty good. So sometimes too much, though, is just too much. But I like the torn skin look, I guess. I know, what's his name? John from Seasons of Shadow. He's got like way more patience than I do. He goes in, he uses paper towels, and then takes like a drywall screw, and he goes in and actually like creates tears and things like that. I know I don't have the patience for that. I mean, it's like approaching sainthood with the way he corpses his creations, and he does some amazing work. I just know I'm trying to learn to slow down a little bit with what I do. I just can't go that long. Like, he can take months on end to create his I remember with his Angel of Death, it was like a whole season he took building that thing, and just the corpsing of it and the creation of it. It was awesome when it was done. But, again, so now I'll take my heat gun and just dry it up. When you use the heat gun, it also tightens everything too, so it makes it look a lot better sometimes than when you first put it on, because it's a little loose and because it's all wet. And there you have it, a little bit of corpsing, and I might go over it one or two more times, but I have the attention span of a 3-year-old, and I usually like my projects to be done in a day or two. This one I realize is going to take me much longer, so the other 3 Wookiees I have won't be corpsed this year. I'll probably just put them outside on display, but I'll keep this one in and continue working on the corpsing of it. Okay, just wanted to give you a brief intro to my corpsing technique, and I'm sure it's nothing new for most haunters, but I figured I'd show you how I was applying it to these Walgreen skeletons. Okay, if you like what you've seen, like the channel, and subscribe, and then check out my blog, www.devilseve.blogspot.com. Thank you. Okay, after reviewing that, I realized that wasn't a very good angle on that whole thing, so I figured I'd give you just a little bit more of a close-up view of what the corpsing looked like when I was finished that little section. So, not sure how well that's going to come out. So, again, I'll be putting more on. He said more on. And hopefully by next Halloween this will be done.